Welcome back. You guys already know the iPhone 6s is one of those phones that I love. In 2021, it is kind of harder to justify picking up this phone, but only positive vibes. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the best reasons why you should go and pick up this phone right now in 2021. Now, starting off, to be completely honest, I think the iPhone 6s is a solid phone, at least in 2021. I don't know looking for the foreseeable future, but one of the best things that this phone has going for it is the software within it. The software lifecycle of these phones is crazy. And luckily for us, within the last year or two, Apple has actually kind of improved their whole entire software lifecycle. So not only, even if it doesn't get iOS 15, it still potentially could get iOS 14 security updates for a year, just like how we saw it on the iPhone 6 and iPhone 5s. And I really do feel like Apple is going to do the same thing for these next iPhones as well. So if the iPhone 6s doesn't get, iOS 15, it's still going to get some sort of support. So I think that's for sure really good. All the apps are still going to be updated through the App Store anyway. So I think that's a really awesome thing. But another very, very cool thing that even if this thing got no more features or whatever, the jailbreaks that are out for this thing are so crazy. There are so many jailbreaks out nowadays, whether you have a computer or don't have a computer. The Uncover, Checkra jailbreak, all these different jailbreaks are out for this device. So you can easily go ahead and just jailbreak this thing and just improve the whole entire life cycle of this device. And I love things like that. You can do the same thing with Androids, a lot of them, root them and, custom ROM them. And jailbreaking is the closest thing we have to it. And I love that you can go ahead and get those iPhone 10 gestures. You can go and just, have all these different themes and stuff imported. And to be completely honest, whatever features Apple's going to put in for iOS 15 and even 16 or 17 or 18, there are probably already jailbreak tweaks out there right now that will give you the same, if not better features than what those specific software versions will bring. So, of course, being stock and everything is good too, but having a jailbreak capability, especially with an iPhone 6s that's this compatible with so many different jailbreaks, is seriously one of my favorite things about this device. Now, the third thing, and something that really isn't talked about too much, is the repairability of these phones. With its price tag being so low, but also with the parts of it being so cheap, if you theoretically crack the display or the battery goes bad or whatever the case is, even if you don't feel comfortable replacing things yourself, you can even hire somebody to fix this or whatever the case is for a very low amount of money. Because this thing isn't the latest and greatest anymore, there's just very little. The cost to repair and everything is just so easy on this phone. You could replace the screen, the batteries, the cameras, really anything about this phone, and it's still going to be fully functional. Now, is it going to be perfect? Maybe, I don't know. Like, I've replaced a couple things with my iPhones before, the batteries and stuff, and they've performed even better since then. And I really do think that is one of the biggest assets for these older phones. Now, it doesn't mean that you should go ahead and, purchase a really messed up iPhone 6s and try to repair it yourself, because these phones are still hard to repair, but if you've ever taken apart a phone and put it back together, this is, I think, one of those phones that's relatively going to be easy to do something like that. So I think that in and of itself for sure is another huge asset for having a device like this. And it's one of the reasons why I love this phone for sure. It's just the repairability aspect of it. Now, the fourth thing about this phone, as I mentioned before, would probably be the price tag. This thing doesn't cost as much as it used to. This thing doesn't cost $599 or $600, whatever it was before. This thing really only costs less than $100 in a ton of different places. And for getting a phone that's still supported, that, still has this high repairability, that has jailbreak access and everything, this is a solid phone for the price tag. And you get that Apple ecosystem, you get everything with it for like less than $100. And a good thing is that this thing, if you get it now and resell later on, it's still going to handle its value pretty well. It's not going to be like a phone that's going to drop in value by half anytime soon. The price tag has kind of leveled out, and I think that's a pretty big asset for it too. You're going to be getting a phone that's still fairly low in price, and I think that's a pretty good thing about it. And finally, there were a ton of other things that I kind of mentioned throughout, but the fact that this phone is still supported and it still has a bunch of apps in the App Store that are still supported too. The camera quality is actually pretty decent for the age of this phone, and I think that's a really awesome thing about this device. The Apple ecosystem, as I mentioned before, is beautiful, and you have so many different things, the iMessages, FaceTimes, all that stuff, and all those cool features that iOS 14 brought. This thing had the capability of doing that too. So I think for sure the iPhone 6s is a solid phone. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it's a really solid phone for, the price tag. And, there are reasons not to pick it up, but again, only positive vibes. I think this phone's a solid phone for sure. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.